Hi, it's Miles Red Songbird in New York City. You're looking at a picture of the sun that I took through the window of Starbucks. That's the light in Starbucks. This is a light in my room. And of course the sun is magnificent, the supreme beam. Alright, so I'll get started. Mainstreaming clues to the marginalized for open minds. News. Don't go around singing the blues. Remember, my friend, everybody can't win, 'cause somebody's got to lose. You can make it if you try. Okay, so try, alright? Speak up. Let the world know what you think. And think using objective logic and intuition too, if you got some of that. Alright, so here we go. I am recommending, I saw a video called I'm White, and it says, this is what I wrote about it. A black teen believes she's white. Her mother had been married to a white man, and he died. She told her children he was their father. But the 16-year-old continued to believe she was white even after he died, and the mother told her the truth. Of course, if she is remembering one of her past lives when she was white and still retains impressions or even grooves in her brain from that life, it would explain why she knows she's white, though she looks black. She was on the Dr. Phil show, and he was very insulting. He said, as a white person, you're not welcome in my race. Who the hell is he to say who could be white and who could not be white? And that's why it's important to accept the natural law of reincarnation, because you can't understand yourself if you don't understand all of who you are. But and you can't understand other people. That's why you can't fathom that this black girl thinks she's white, you know. But we're a product, you know, of our past impressions and grooves. Okay, the next video, Lost, I'll let you see this. Lost Hillary snuff clip, Peter 4, SGT report. British monarchy or pedos. These are notes I took. Sainted Anon. The saint, I guess it was supposed to be channeled. This is a channel. It's on. Okay. Child homicide attributed to British royalty. That's one of the notes I took. They went, I heard that before. Queen Elizabeth and Prince Philip went to an orphanage, got some children, took them to lunch, and they were never seen again. Okay, number 3 video I recommend, Benghazi whistleblowers, the story behind the cover-up, CTM number 67, hashtag 670. Liberian War, thetruth.com is the website the people John B. Wells was interviewing. This is excellent. They are very, very knowledgeable. They have inside information about Libya that every American needs to know about, because they're taking action in our name. John B. Wells, the only channel / Caravan at Midnight show. That's the name of that channel. Okay, the Swiss system is a Zionist system. These are notes I took. They know, these people who did the interview know the tribes of Libya. I don't think I spelled that correctly. Lyba. Oh well. 4 million dead people in Nevada voted. George H.W. Bush is head of the cabal, the Zionist cabal. Important book, Trading with the Enemy. John B. Wells said he lives in Texas. He didn't know it was Illuminati Central. CIA Zionists, this is what the people he was interviewing said. CIA Zionists trap people with sex and drugs, and then they do what they want. It is possible that Chris Stevens was gay, like the CNN staff, Anderson Cooper, Don Lemon, and the leftist staff, Rachel Maddow, all these people are gay. Are they being blackmailed into saying what the globalists once said, the Zionists once said? Maybe. Stevens, was he being blackmailed into running guns in Libya to Syria? Maybe. Number 4, the Benghazi story, Frankenstein Jr. channel. I started watching this. It was pretty interesting. But this one is a must-see. But these people, really, they know a lot. They know more than anybody I've ever seen. Maybe Abel Danger knows the same amount. 5, Ann Coulter on the media making caravan concerns on the Ingram Angle show on Fox News Channel. Her new book, this is good too, Ann's good. Her new book is Resistance is Futile. Okay, I know I have I've just been running into some really great videos I want to share with you. Epic. Okay, this I didn't like so much. Tucker was good, but this guy here, he's so disgusting, I can't watch him, He has to do with the Young Turks. Those were the people that killed the Armenians during the Armenian Holocaust. Okay, this was excellent. Dinesh D'Souza live at Texas A&M. Who is killing America? This was excellent. I totally got into this. YAF TV. President Trump gave Dinesh a presidential pardon. Good for you, President Trump. You just do so many good things. Gay marriage. Why have marriage at all? Lesbian admits that the gay community wants to end all marriage. See the interview she did with Glenn Beck where she says this, and the audience applauds. This was not on Dinesh's video. This is just something I know about that I put in here when the guy said about gay marriage. He mentioned it. One of the questioners to Dinesh. The new morality. Dinesh talked about this. The morality of the inner self. This is excellent, and he's right on time with what is being revealed, because the inner selves, it should be, because you have many selves, and people need to get to know their selves so they'll understand where they themselves are coming from. For example, if I get a really good idea, and I have like a lot of logical facts to back up the conclusion, I know that's the Einstein in me. If I come up with something about astrology, I know that's the Evangeline Adams, the astrologer in me, and so forth. Dinesh's definition of social justice is, I keep what I earn and you keep what you earn. That works for me. I like that. That's obviously, clearly fair. It isn't fair that you keep what I earn the way it is now. And the next video is Gutfeld on Twitter changing their like button by Greg Gutfeld, Fox News. That was interesting. And the most interesting thing he said was, does Twitter even matter? We're getting Jack Dorsey rich, but what does it matter what they talk about? They're not saying your house is on fire. Okay, and then this is excellent, what I just finished reading. When laws aren't enforced, anarchy follows. By Victor Davis Hanson. This guy is so incredibly smart. November 1st, 2018 at 6:30 a.m. He said, the 17th century British statesman George Savile famously put it, men are not hanged for stealing horses, but that horses may not be stolen. You get that? Because if horses are stolen, then you're hanged. If you steal a horse, okay. So that keeps other people from stealing horses. If the border were secure, immigration laws enforced, and illegal residents phased out, deterrence would be reestablished. There would likely be no caravan. Okay, he's talking about laws being enforced now. Madonna, Kathy Griffin, Johnny Depp in over his head. Robert De Niro, Snoopy the dog, and other stars have expressed their wishes that Donald Trump might be beaten up, blown up, cut up, or shot up. Isn't that treason or something? Isn't that inciting to riot? Isn't this what the left is saying the right does? The right aren't they saying Trump does this? He incites people to kill people in a Pittsburgh mosque or something. It's nonsense. The left actually does it, and the left actually does become violent, So their shared premise, these people's shared premise, is that they are too famous, influential, or wealthy to expect consequences that ordinary citizens might face for making threats to the safety of the President of the United States. If the next time a Hollywood icon tweeted or voiced a threat to the President, he or she was subsequently put on a no-fly list, the current assassination chic would quickly stop. Well said, Victor Hansen. White House Press Secretary Sarah Huckabee Sanders, Senators Ted Cruz and Mitch McConnell, and Representative Devin Nunes must worry that when they venture out in public, protesters will scream in their face, attempt to bar their passage, or disrupt their meal, and do so without legal ramifications. There are many causes of the current laxity. Now, these are excerpts. This is not the entire article written on National Review. I got this on Google. The problem with ignoring laws is that it is contagious and can boomerang. Sanctuary cities could, in theory, birth conservative sanctuary zones. Would today's protesters wish for other jurisdictions to nullify federal laws and court rulings concerning abortion, gun registration, and gay marriage? If thousands of Hondurans in a caravan are deemed above the law, then why not exempt future mass arrivals of Chinese or South African immigrants? If Cruz and other Republicans politicos can't eat in peace, will Barack Hussein, Dianne Feinstein, and Nancy Pelosi soon face the same disruptions, the illegality justified by higher moral concerns? If students can block a right, this is really good thinking. He really thought this out, didn't he? If students can block a right-wing speaker or storm a diner, will they also object when anti-abortion protesters bar the passage of a pro-choice campus guest? German philosopher Immanuel Kant, who is now Glenn Beck, noted that anarchy is law and freedom without force. Translated to our current context, Kant might say that all our high-minded talk about the Bill of Rights means absolutely nothing without the cop on the beat and the local district attorney. Okay, that's the end of the article. Now, about Victor Davis Hanson. He's a National Review online contributor, a senior fellow at the Hoover Institution. Hoover, this is my note, Hoover vacuums clean houses. Hanson is the author most recently of the Second World War, how the first global conflict was fought and won. Okay, so those are videos that I recommend highly for your entertainment and education. Okay, this is what I wrote today. Let's, good people, stop being doormats. That's the name of the piece. I told the Starbucks workers these kids, Asians, are using all the stools. There's no place to sit. They're not only crowding us, the paying Starbucks customers, out, they're playing video games, they're eating Subway sandwiches and pizza. The black woman worker said, I can't throw anybody out. Well, ask them to give your customer a seat. Soon, obviously they're not customers. Soon after what happened, I cannot. Oh, that's what she says. She says, sorry. After what happened, I cannot ask them to do anything. She's talking about the black guy who was loitering in a Starbucks. And a worker told him he had to buy something or leave. Starbucks, I think they called the police, and there were protests around the country. Was up, the news media rather, and the left were up in arms because he told a black guy he couldn't loiter in the place, which is the law. I mean, all businesses are in business to make profit. He's sitting there taking up space, using their electricity and their seats, and contributing nothing to them. It doesn't make any sense. They're not a non-profit. So Starbucks has to pay sky-high rent. They're in Manhattan. For electricity they have to pay sky-high wages because of unions' demands, pay sky-high taxes because of the crooked IRS code and politicians' constituencies' greed. Yet they have to pay their workers to clean up the empty pizza boxes, etc. These Chinese kids are in illegal heaven while making life hell for Starbucks customers, mostly paying white Americans, and for Starbucks employees because they didn't enforce the law, no loitering, when the black guy broke it because the paranoid made so by race baiters like Maxine Waters, Sheila Jackson Lee, Kamala Harris, Cory Booker, Jesse Jackson, Al Sharpton, the Communist Socialist Democratic Party. See, the law wasn't enforced because of pressure from these people. After the founders had finished the enormous task of writing the U.S. Constitution, rules for rights and responsibilities for our country, someone asked, what kind of government did you give us? A constitutional republic, one answered, if you can keep it. The Constitution was made for a religious, educated people. How many blacks quit high school before graduation. Many are not educated. And if blacks get into college, it's often due to affirmative action, not because they have high SAT scores or are smart enough to be able to do college-level work, so they can't do the work. The colleges provide remedial courses, but mostly they dumb down their curriculum, remove subjects that require deep thought. Although isn't that what college was supposed to be about? Teach you to think, critical thinking. All kinds of subjects that require deep thought versus soundbite ideas, surface shallow conclusions. Barack Hussein put pothead, coke snorter, ex-president, got into Harvard and won $1 million plus Nobel Peace Prize because he was sold to us, the U.S., as the first U.S. black president, instead of the African and white guy. Barry Soetoro was the first biracial president. He was sold to us, U.S., as a family man. he was and is a homosexual, a girl wannabe, covered by a beard, a woman named Michelle who sold her soul, married him for the good life he could afford a wife. He was sold to us, U.S., as a Christian, even after he demonstrated he was a Muslim. He was the first Muslim president. He had the NASA mission changed to discover great achievements of Muslims. Isn't that outrageous? Space organization gotta be a PR firm. So, and he was named after a Muslim saint. So, let's see. Calibrated is that? He celebrated Ramadan in the White House and canceled the Christian prayer breakfast they were going to have. So, what does that mean? That means he likes Muslims and dislikes Christians. He was adopted by a Muslim, and I think it was Indonesia, the largest Muslim population in the world was Indonesia. And he went to school there. He went to a Muslim school there. He was educated there, partly educated there. So the Chinese are mostly communists. They're atheists. They do not share America's religion, Christianity. Although Barack Hussein, Barry Soetoro, lied and said America's a Muslim nation. He wished. Black people, according to black people expert, Harlem pastor for over 30 plus years, James David Manning, did a video, black people are not Christians. So the U.S. Constitution, America's rules of laws, was created for a religious educated population, as I said. And I'm proving that these minorities causing problems here are not educated and they're not religious. As the Chinese are educated, but they're selfish. They're completely oblivious to the needs of others. I remember when I lived on Grand Street, which was Chinatown. When you get out of the subway, they would block the door. They didn't realize you were there and they needed to step aside. You actually had to push past them to get off the train. You know, and of course they spit all over the sidewalks. I don't know, they had chest ailments. I don't know why they spit so much. As I've just stated, we have minority populations who are neither educated nor religious. They cannot comprehend the thinking, the objective logic in the U.S. Constitution and Bill of Rights, and Declaration of Independence, and they don't want to. We have many in our population that want to take whatever stuff they can and live lives provided by the capitalist system by telling the world capitalists are evil, knowing full well the soft-hearted and in some places too cowardly to protect their constitution or republic are going to not cause them any consequences for being traitors. They're not sending anybody, no matter how traitorous they are, back where they came from. So we are falling apart because we don't enforce and obey the rule of law. If cops, black or white, try to make black people obey the law, they are accused of racism. That is a weapon of race baiters. Isn't that something? They get all this mileage out of calling you a racist. I remember there was I think it was a mayor upstate New York. He said, when they call him a racist, he said, kiss my butt. That's it. You know, what do you care what they call you? Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. You learn that? Didn't you learn that in kindergarten? Or did you just learn about drag queens? That's what they're teaching in kindergarten now. Show people coming to story times with their asses showing, dressed so scantily. It's outrageous. I wouldn't even send my kid to one of those public schools these days. I sent my kids to private schools because I found scholarships from smart kids. And my kids were smart because I had tutored them at home for years, ever since they were alive. I was working on their self-awareness and helping them to become aware of themselves and the world around them. I didn't let my kids float and daydream all the time. So, I say when we know we're right when enforcing the law, whether you're Starbucks or the U.S. government facing a caravan of a mob of illegals, just say when you call the slur designed to stop you from standing up for yourself, "You called me a racist? I know I am, but what are you?" That's what Pee Wee Herman used to say. Of course, the left project. You can know what they're up to by listening to what they accuse the person in the right of being up to. We can keep our constitutional republic if we, the people, insist on the rule of law being enforced. Guilty people vote for guilty people. Unconsciously guilty Jews vote for corrupt Democrats. Conservative Jews said, why did the Jews vote for Democrats? Because they're guilty. They killed Christ. Or they gave permission. They sentenced Christ to die by saying, kill him. That's what they told Pontius Pilate, who's Michael Bublé's wife now, incarnated as that woman. And he gave the order for Christ to be crucified. Okay, so I said, stop the Democratic Party's voter fraud that they do, and vote for President Trump's friends. They love America, unlike Barack Hussein, his wife, and their pals, who hate themselves and everybody else. They dumped on America as a fall guy for now. They're planning to depopulate the world. That's why they had to try to stop Alex Jones, Milo, and other alternative media from telling us what they, the globalist, elite, leftist Democrats, rats, are planning to do with us socialist communists, I should add. Bush Sr. bought the water, $46 billion. Warren Buffett is buying up the wind. He's buying all the windmills. Leftist geophysicists are trying to manage and own the weather and block the sun. As the head of the Holy Royal Family Ministry of Respecters of the Greatest Good, and who are educated, we stand by the 10th Sikh Guru Gobind Singh Ji, Jesus Christ consciousness, and the 9th Sikh Guru Tegh Bahadur Singh Ji, Jesus consciousness, who he was beheaded by the Muslims. Hundreds of millions of Indians were massacred by the Muslims. So the 10th Sikh Guru is now called President Donald J. Trump. His father, the 9th Sikh Guru, is now known as Vice President Mike Pence. So to summarize, support those who love us, U.S., and enforce our laws, which means arrest all traitors. Institute talk and share therapy sessions in schools and churches, and hopefully parents will adopt the form of communication in the homes, and husbands and wives will use it to keep the air clear between them. That way, heaven will be heavenly, and to hell with those who want to prevent heaven, that's America, from fully manifesting here in the physical world. America, India, President Vladimir Putin of Russia, son of Eve. He has made it clear that he wants to be friends with us, U.S. Be friends with those who are nice to you. I'll paraphrase Dr. Jordan Peterson, who said that. Vladimir tried to save the Americans who were killed by American taxpayer-supported terrorists at the Boston Boston Massacre, yeah. Vladimir warned us the terrorist was a terrorist. The FBI let them go free to kill and maim Americans. Steven Seagal, a fine American actor, producer, director, reserve sheriff, recording artist, martial artist, black belt, knows President Putin. They were brothers in their past lives and sons of Eve, and still maintain affection for each other, says President Putin is one of the world's greatest leaders. Most of the millions of Russian people certainly agree. So fellow residents of heaven on earth, America, there's also hell on earth, so let's keep our constitutional republic and make heaven fully heaven. Mild Red Songbird in New York. Talk to you later.